What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. Just notes that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total. And the offer ends very soon at the end of March. So anyways, as far as the market is going, I just want to mention that we just got the FOMC meeting results, and what happened was the market saw a dip upon the news that the Fed is pausing, not really changing the Fed funds future rates. And then as a result, we had Jerome Powell giving a speech, which caused the market to pump a little bit, but the market is still stuck between these ranges. So as a reminder, Jerome Powell was just going on about how the Fed is going to be very, very careful with their policy changes, that they don't want to cut rates too much or raise them too quickly. They want to be in the middle. There is uncertainty about the next administration because we're going to be listening to what happens with tariffs and other changes like that. So the Fed is still waiting to see. And then simultaneously, the Fed mentioned that if there are improvements in the inflationary data, they could be incentivized to cut more, but they have to wait and see. They're not going to wait for the data to be at that 2% mark to do that. They're going to have to just see lots of notable progress. That's something the Fed is going to be waiting for. Besides that, Jerome Powell was optimistic that the economy is doing well, and he gave us a lot more insights. But anyways, that is it, at least for now. That's just like a really brief summary of what Powell said. Most of it was just like the same old things that he says that are very ambiguous. So now the question is, what's happening with earnings? After the market closes in about 15 minutes from now, we have Tesla, Meta, Microsoft, and IBM all announcing their earnings. It's going to cause a big move. If tech does very, very well, we're looking for SPY to push to fill this gap into the 608 if we see a big tech rally. If not, if we end up losing 599, we could be dumping to 594 or below. Hopefully we get the bounce, but we'll see depending on how tech ends up doing. With a triple Q, we look quite good. If we break this resistance at 525, we're looking for an attempt to fill that gap all the way up to about 530. If we end up losing 515, we're looking for a dump back down to where this blue trend line happens to be. Let's hope for the best with tech earnings. This is going to be very sensitive to them, so get ready. The Russell could be pushing closer to like 229, and we could be losing 224 depending on what happens with earnings. For ES, we're looking a little bit more bullish. As long as we hold 60, 64, I could be looking for an attempt to bounce back up for the 6100s. If we lose 6030, though, we could be tipping back down, so it depends on what happens with the earnings. For NQ, if we break resistance at 21,600, we're looking for that gap fill. And if we lose support at 21,400, we could be dipping. Could go either way, so make sure you watch your levels just to be safe. Bitcoin looks a bit more bullish. If we break past 105,000, we're looking for a bigger pump. And it could go either way. For now, tech is still looking promising. I like the fact that Nvidia's could be making a higher low here. We'll have to see about this. If tech earnings don't go well, this could be dumping more. As long as we hold this higher low here, there is a lot of potential for us to try to rebound back up towards the 130s. Tesla's going to be a big one. We're watching to see if this thing ends up breaking this resistance. So, like I said before, we have this big yellow trend line of resistance where we reject many, many times. If earnings go really well for Tesla and they absolutely crush it and they give us good guidance, okay, you want to see Tesla break this yellow resistance in the low 400s. If we break that, we're going to easily go to the 420s like that if we break past that yellow resistance. However, if it's the opposite and we end up losing support at the 200 EMA at 384, we could be dumping back down to the 370s. It depends on, do we lose 384 to turn more bearish and dump to the 370s, or do we break past 400 and the low 400s at the yellow trend line here to really start pushing? For Aapl, I want to mention that Aapl has a nice inverse head and shoulders like setup. If it breaks 240, we're looking for 246. And if we end up losing 236, we're looking for below 230. It looks bullish, so let's hope it tries to push more depending on how earnings go. AMD is so-so. I would like to see it try to rebound here. There's a gap below. If earnings don't go well, we could be coming back down to fill the gap towards 113. If they go well, we could be trying to break 120 to fill this gap towards 123. Coin, I want to see it try to push to fill the gap closer to 300. If we lose 275, we turn back down, but this is favoring upside. Amazon could be retesting 235. We'll see if we bounce off this or not. It might be a small dip here, so give it some time. But if earnings go well, we could be breaking 240 to rally. If they don't go well, we could be losing 230 to dip, so it depends on that. Meta is looking okay. We pumped very nicely. We're slowing a little bit. We have to see if 670 holds. If we break 680, we remain bullish. If we lose 670 flat, we could be turning back down to like 666 and eventually 656. So it depends on how that goes. Microsoft, if you're bullish, you want to break 448 after earnings to push for 452. If we lose 440, we're looking for a dip to 435 or below, so it depends on earnings. And lastly, Google, if you want to break past resistance at 198, we're looking for the 200s. If we lose 195, we're looking for a dip, so it could go either way. The VIX trying to rebound here. We're going to be watching to see if it comes down to fill this gap. So be patient, guys, and get ready for big tech earnings. The market's still holding up well, so we'll see if we get a big bounce or not. So give the market the time it needs. With that being said, I thank you all for listening. Have a good one. Get ready for big tech earnings. I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. The big one I'm going to be watching for especially is Tesla. So get ready for Tesla's earnings. That's going to be a fun one to watch. Anyways, that's it. I'll see you guys very soon, and peace out.